Kitty Key, the martial sportist, in his new, slightly redder, winey colored shirt thing with the zipper down the front, with the brand name logo on it. Sell out. Not really. We're not selling out to Champion. Just wearing a logo shirt. This is Kitty Key, the martial sportist. Yes. Apparently, yes. Cowpoke, Silly Kelly, Marx Cards, headlining tomorrow's event, New Year's Eve celebration, and I will also be there. I'm so excited. I can't wait to do something. Something, I don't know what. But I will be there too. Yay! We did no introduction for the other guys. You know they're going to be there. They also are. But I am relatively new on the scene, so I'm going to be out there too. So, Kitty Key, the martial sportist. Finally got the top to go with the other stuff. And it doesn't quite match the other stuff, but that's fine. You know, this part here and this part here goes together. But this part is a little redder than it should be. I have the one that actually matches this, but I thought to have this slightly redder one, slightly more Brandywine one, in anticipation of getting, perhaps this year, another belt that will look more Brandywine-y than red. Yes. And apparently the cheap, crappy school of the Kitty Key, which has no students, the black belts are just red belts, essentially. So he's a red belt, black. Even though this is technically a Brazilian jiu-jitsu belt. Jiu-jitsu belt. Yeah. Piranha. Right. So yeah, there you go. He's a martial sportist, so the joke is that he doesn't realize, he does know what he's doing, he's without a clue, but that he doesn't, he doesn't ascribe to any convention of this thing, so he's unconventional, you know. Anyway, so yeah, yes, Hershey bar is actually German, but yes, the Hershey bar thing. Anyway, so Kitty Key, martial sportist. Just because I thought of this character, Sacha Baron Cohen is not doing the martial sportist. And I think some other channels out there is a punk job by somebody. But yeah, there's a lot of punk jobs. Trolls. Some trolls out there. Trying to be me. Yes, good job, guys. You are not Kitty Key. You are trying to be Kitty Key. None can be Kitty Key but Kitty Key. Unless, of course, I walk into the store of Hello Kitty, the Sanrio Surprise store, and they go, "You're not Kitty Key. You're not a black tuxedo cat." That is a boss in the Kitty Key game. You're not that. You silly person. You don't even look like a cat. And the Cadabra on the other side of the door, she says this. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, being silly. So, yeah, Kitty Key, I just thought I'd pop in. And welcome you all to New Year's and all that stuff. Yeah, so... Well, there you are. Oh, this newfangled camcorder done recording the movie film. Seeing my cute buster faces down in the pokey, down in the Cowpoke. Clint Cowpoke here at New Year's Eve. Yeah, we're not ready for prime time. Yeah, I was just joking about that guy 10 years ago this year of test passing, who was Mr. Hand, who decided that he would have relations with a horse. Done killed him. But, yep, there we go. There's your sign right there. That's a bad idea. When Marx Cards in there, he says, well, it wouldn't have killed him the other way around. Takes a lot of tenacity to do something like that. New Year's Eve 2015, 7 years of the Kal Kat show coming to a close. With antics of the Cowpoker, Clint Cowpoke. Clint Cowpoke, stud among men. That there's over 4 pounds of chocolate. That chocolate bar that Kitty Key broke. Yep, there it is. The chocolate bar. Clint Cowpoke here in the studio. And here's Marx Cards.
Now the potty can really
oh my God.
I haven't been, well, I've been here before, but I haven't been to a New Year's special since, what did we say, 2002,
2003.
Good Lord. Well, we're long overdue, so.
That was the last audio recorded.
We're going to ring in 2016 right, with minor disasters, complete mediocrity and failure. The way it should be.
As it should be, because we're not ready for prime time, but we weren't on SNL, and we were child stars, but we weren't famous.
Yeah, child stars in our own mind. So
yeah.
Anyway, so here it looks like we got Clint Cowpoke in the studio, doing some
Being
kind
Cowpoke.
of creepy, weird selfie action here.
So should we do a kitty? Okay. And then I'll bring in the other 2 guest stars for the other challenges and exciting events.
Exactly.
Now, yeah, so we can. You saw the Star Wars, so
Okay,
we're gonna get your take on it.
exactly. Well,
So I guess we could set up the camera somewhere.
All
so
right.
We can do that.
so yep, we're gonna recap
you want to
the.
know what Clint Cowpoke's been up to since Disneyland?
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but it looks like first we're gonna discuss the financially successful resurgence of Star Wars. Which is
So
kind
you
of
know
the big entertainment
So
story.
this new camera actually does our is actually considerably better. It does the we don't look like yellow-eyed zombies anymore. The pink
you don't
is
look
pink.
like you have jaundice anymore, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
All right, well let's stop recording and set up the cameras.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
The Star Wars.
Neil
The one
before me.
before you saw it, yeah.
Before Zod, which I guess was in that last Superman movie, which I did not see, mostly because it looked like exactly the kind of superhero movie that doesn't interest me, meaning it's a goofball, campy premise, but played really dour, gray, and completely straight and without any sense of fun. Maybe that's not the case. I don't know. I didn't see it. All I can tell you is the new one, I thought it was shot in black and white when the trailer came out. It's like, here's Batman staring all charcoal gray. He wants to kill the suicide of... And then Superman flies in, and you think, here's America's Boy Scout, and he's like, yes, I must kill myself. I must find a way to slit my Kryptonian wrists. It's like, yeah, way to go, Zack Snyder. That's what's fun about Superman. But we're not here to talk about Superman. We're here to talk about a successful resurgence of another successful, legendary sci-fi franchise.
You said you would not see another Star Wars movie, but in this case,
I
Lucas,
said I wouldn't see one
if Lucas
presuming that Lucas was the
doing
one doing it. And here's here's the thing. If they had used Lucas's ideas even, I'm not so sure I would have been all that stoked. But when J.J. Abrams and company took over the Star Wars franchise in conjunction with Disney, they pretty much said, all right, we're just going to do our own thing. And we want to make this one be more for the fans. So right from the get-go, there was obviously a very concerted effort to address all of not only the concerns, but the rampant culture-wide disappointment with the last trilogy that Lucas had done. And at this point, it kind of feels like you're kicking a lame dog. You almost feel sorry for the last 3 movies, just because they you know, they're become sort of the whipping boy of the franchise, and everybody points to them and goes, you know, wow, yeah, at least this new one doesn't suck like those ones, right? Yeah, hey, Lucas, you suck. But here's the thing. You go back and rewatch them, they're still not good. The problem with them isn't even, I mean, there's like, without getting into those, because we've already talked about them, but it's not just that they do a lot of really weird, bizarre stuff that undercuts a lot of what made Star Wars classic and good in the first place, like explaining the Force as bugs in your blood, basically. A lot of other stuff. It's like, yeah, there was some really strange stuff. More to the point, those movies were really, really boring. Like, just dull to sit through. I mean, my God. First of all, everything's filmed from like this far away, so here's all this like screensaver stuff.
Or it's too close.
Going, powerful Jedi, because you see, it was for me that I would be the most powerful. Yes, Annie, it is true that it is. So we should make out, and it's just like nobody. Even in space,
and
nobody
then they
talks
would
like
get
this.
These extreme, like Lord of the Ringsy close-ups, like,
oh yeah,
this, my head in the face,
yeah,
the little face is in the shot, but not even the top of your head,
way back over here,
and then way back over here for the other side.
So let's say, for the sake of argument, that this is a lightsaber. Yeah, this is my badass lightsaber, bread knife.
Well, we're doing the prequel.
But here's how Lucas would shoot your typical action scene. I don't have another lightsaber. Pretend my finger is a lightsaber. I know I do. And then suddenly, Liam Neeson. And then, way over here. And then, and you can't see anything. I know they had these awesome choreographers. You can't see it. You can't tell what's happening. So there was like all of this stuff. Even the fight scenes were boring. And how do you make a lightsaber boring? George found a way. So I'm sorry.
Prequels.
At this point, it's almost become kind of trendy to like defend the Lucas's last three. Just sort of like, you know, maybe they were misunderstood. Maybe. And I'm willing to concede there is some neat stuff in them. There's some cool ideas. Not every character sucks. But honestly, the biggest problem with them they're boring. They're boring to sit through. They're hard to sit through. So, bearing all of this in mind, Disney, which is a company that is way the hell better than George Lucas personally at gauging what audiences want to see and how to get them all excited. I mean, they've made bajillions of dollars with these Marvel movies. They brought in a ringer. They said, all right, J.J. Abrams, you just took Star Trek and made it not dorky.
It's basically Star Wars, but Star Trek.
Yeah, so now it's cool to like Star Wars again. Or Star Trek. So do the same thing for Star Wars, which actually the problem with Star Wars wasn't that it was too dorky, it's that it was boring. But yeah, work your same magic, make us $1 billion with Star Wars. And Abrams, who is a much more gifted director than Lucas, for whatever issues I have with what he did to Star Trek, he's a way better fit for Star Wars. And so it's like, all right, good match. Clearly they're going to make a movie that is going to at least attempt to please the fans and give them what they want. And they did. So here comes, like, there's no way to talk about the movie without some spoilers. I won't give away any major bombshells, but, you know, talk about the movie. Here's my personal take on it. Having seen it, having, you know, the year of hype and really secretive, you know, J.J. Abrams level CIA secrecy about anything to do with the plot and all this stuff. Is it an improvement over the last three? Oh, God, yes. For one thing, it's entertaining. It holds your attention. It's fast-paced. It has interesting characters. The fight scenes are pretty kick-ass. And it's just so much more attention-grabbing, and it compels you to want to know what's going to happen next. There's a central mystery that's kind of like, you know, where is one of our central characters, and that kind of drives a lot of the story, and they're basically kind of doing the hero's journey archetype again. You know, stick with the classic. It worked so great in the original three movies, so they're basically saying, let's just do that again. Let's ignore all of the midichlorians and weird space politics and all that stuff. Let's just get right to it and make a Star Wars movie. They did do that, and they did a very good sequel. This is my take on it. My personal feeling is the movie is being overpraised by people who are just so relieved and so delighted that it's an actual decent Star Wars movie after 15 years of, Jar Jar in our memories. And no, the character they're looking for is not Jar Jar, although that would have been hilarious. Like, just, where is Jar Jar? The universe cannot function properly without his flapping tongue. No, there's no midichlorians. There's there's not really all that many shout-outs to
true. All of
it. Anything to do with the last three movies. Everything is a shout-out to the first three. Therein is the movie's both strength and weakness. It's a strength in that it does a very good job of reminding you of why Star Wars was fun in the first place. It does a lot of really affectionate and sincere, I think, fan shout-outs that say, hey, you loved Star Wars growing up, so did we. Wouldn't it be cool if we found an awesome way to put the Millennium Falcon back into this in a clever, fun way and still make it exciting and bring in some classic characters and, introduce some new blood that's going to, have their own story arcs and everything. And yes, it almost feels like the coolest fan film that you could imagine, in that everything about it is very meticulously designed to remind you that you're watching a Star Wars movie and you love Star Wars. The problem, my personal take, you may not see it this way, but my take on it is that it plays it so safe in basically doing Star Wars over again that it doesn't really do anything new. It kind of shows you Episode 4 over again, almost beat for beat. It even starts on a desert planet. There's sort of a jungle temple planet. Again, all very deliberately meant to affectionately remind you of the stuff that you loved the first time around. But that's the thing. It was fresh the first time around. This time around, even the hero's journey arc is very much what we saw Luke and Leia and Han Solo and all of them do the first time around. Here they're kind of, either the new characters or in some cases the original characters are kind of doing the same thing with some interesting twists. Here's a spoiler. Harrison Ford is in this one, playing Han Solo again. Interestingly, he's now cast as the Obi-Wan character. In his own way, he's not acting like Obi-Wan, but he kind of fulfills the same function.
Functions, yeah.
Very closely, shall we say, in the movie. Again, it's almost scene for scene a remake of Episode 4, which is not necessarily a bad thing in
Soft
that
reboot,
if you're going to do essentially a shout out to a movie, at least do a shout out to the good one, right? It's not a remake of Attack of the Clones, thank God. But
anything would be better than a remake of Attack of the Clones.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. But
the Clone Wars, I guess, was.
But the thing that kind of struck me about it is that a lot of the character business with the newer characters, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not very rich. When you look at the original Episode 4, one of the big reasons that it caught everyone's imagination was that all of the characters were archetypes, but they were fresh archetypes in that setting, and there was a lot of sincerity to the sort of Campbellian hero's journey that we were seeing. Everything was hitting, these classic movie beats. It was almost like a Western samurai space opera, kind of thing. But it was also mythic and epic. The new movie is a kick-ass Star Wars action movie with fun characters, but not a whole lot of depth to them yet. After the first movie, every kid wanted to be Luke Skywalker or Han Solo or Princess Leia. The nation went crazy and people were lining up for almost a year to see this movie.
It was out for a year.
The new movie it basically functions as a really good sequel to that, but it doesn't blaze any new trails. It doesn't feel mythic. It doesn't feel like we really are in a galaxy far, far away seeing this vast, really important adventure that's going to change the galaxy for everyone. it feels like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if the Empire did this 20 years later? And, hey, I wonder what Han Solo's doing. Let's check in on him. And so it's like fan service, but it almost, to my taste, plays it a little too safe. It doesn't really go anywhere that unexpected, to the point that, to the extent that kind of it rehashes the same ending, where there's like a Death Star type of a base, only it's even bigger,
Star
more
Killer,
badass. It blows up
Killer.
multiple planets at once, which is kind of like they're just sort of aggressively saying it's like the Death Star, but wow, even more, you know. And then we're gonna attack it with X-wings and have a space battle around it. It's like, yeah, that's great. We did that. It was called A New Hope, and then they did that again in Return of the Jedi. Here it is again, basically because it's what worked in those movies. So, to me, it kind of feels like, I mean, I'm not saying I didn't like it or that it wasn't fun. I just kind of wish they would have really gone somewhere new and shown us something. In addition to the fan service, give us a new story, give us a new hero's journey, give us some beats that we haven't already danced to. And so I'm kind of hoping that, you know, they kind of left it on an interesting note. Actually, one of the most interesting scenes for me is the very end, and I won't tell you how it ends, but they kind of set up like, okay, now we're going to solve the mystery of this one missing character who is now going to presumably be more central, so it's kind of like, all right, now where are you going to go? You've set the stage again. Here's basically the Empire again. Here's their giant death fleet again. Here's the heroes learning how to use lightsabers and the Force again. Okay, we got all that out of the way. Now what? Please do go somewhere really provocative. Show us alien vistas we haven't seen. I don't need to see another desert planet in the next one. It was fine in this one, but it's kind of like, all right, you've got my attention. You made a movie that doesn't suck. Great. Good on ya. Now
Can
what?
you do it?
So I'm waiting for the follow through. So this one to me is not, it's not nearly as epoch making as A New Hope back in the day, because that really was blazing new trails. This one is saying, remember this trail that you liked? Let's go down it again. So that's basically my take on it. It's a good start. It didn't completely blow me away, which, you know, might have been too tall of an order anyway, capturing that kind of lightning in a bottle twice. I think they did as good a job as they could doing a fan service sequel, but
yeah.
Could it have been a little fresher? I think so, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Anyway, so now let's let's get your take on it. It is. It's about 8:20.
Well, we'll record a bit more on Clint Cowpoke's take on it.
Yep, but
Since I already had Kitty Key and Kal Kat.
I want to film some gratuitous nudity while we're at it. Oh, we're still recording.
Yeah, I started it again,
So
unless you want to stop it.
Nudity of your head minus the hat. Clint Cowpoke on natural.
Out of character. Yeah, they done revealed who the Milpitas Monster character was in our special.
Oh, yeah.
Rick Davis. But anyway, we're going to go on to, so, the Star Wars movie. Well, Kitty Key, as under his real name, Creech or whatever, he totally gave away the whole plot of the movie on his second review, so. We don't need to go into the plot of the movie, but I'll just go into, like, I guess my take on the whole idea then, which is slightly different than my other two, because we've already done a lot. Marx Cards. I was only wary of the Star Trek movies because you know they did those and they had the comic books, and it was Kurtzman and Noriki and Lindehoff. The Kurtzman and Noriki were doing the comic books, or Star Trek. And all of the comic books would copy, like your beat for beat, like you're saying, other episodes that were better. And they would just do them in the comic book, like before the 5-year mission. We'll just do the Tribbles again, but make it more extreme. We'll just do we'll just do the Mirror Universe, but make it more dark and more extreme. Or more action in it. Or we'll just do Khan again and make him different, but make him British. Okay, it's like so when I seen this new Star Wars in picture, they were like, well, no, we're not going to have Lindehoff in it. That's a good sign. We're not going to have Kurtzman and Norkie in it. That's an even better sign. They ain't going to be involved. maybe Abrams, and he was more of a Star Wars fan than a Star Trek fan. He was a Star Wars geek from way back, and after the film and the review, I went to the Kevin Smith blog where he's talking about he's a director, talking about how he got to go on the set onto the Star Wars movie and look around during the filming of the tropical scene. And see that, and couldn't talk about it until after the movie came out. He had an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, and so we were over at we were at Disneyland. We did not have an NDA, so we could have talked about it. But our footage where we discussed the Star Wars attractions at Disneyland was on that camera that died.
That's true.
So, and I think maybe somehow through osmosis, Disneyland's midi-chlorians came in, blasted the camera so that footage would not leak until Star Wars had come out.
Not like we had any serious plot points to give away.
But yeah, money fuck. Yeah, being on the. So there was. Well, yeah. So it was. I don't know why I'm sitting, but I'm sitting. So yeah. So anyway.
Cool your doggies.
Anyway, I said let that what's his face Orky had been fired from Star Trek, the new Star Trek movie, Star Trek 3, and they got Simon Pegg and Jason Lynn instead. Fast and the Furious guy and Scotty, who also played in a bunch of comedies and directed in them. And the comedies are funny. It's just that, and then we were doing on that trailer there. Going on now, the trailer for that movie with Beastie Boys in it, a nod to the other movie, it makes it look like Silly Track, but not funny. It makes it look like our picture. Like what? I said, okay, yeah, thanks for the Silly Track. That's great. Chimera, right on. So ours
just needed a Spuds McKenzie cameo.
Exactly, Silly Track. So there we go, and since I'm Thompson from Starcracker. Exactly. Anyway, so it's like and one of the Zuri, and so there's the new Star Wars movie actually was interesting because it had elements of that. It had elements as well, and it also had elements of Distant Destinies. There's a planet ship in it. There's a planet. There's right there. However, in the new Star Wars movie, the Star Killer is named after Luke Skywalker's original name, and which would have been a really lame name if they'd used that in the 70s, calling him Luke Star Killer. That would have been stupid.
Might as well have
even back then.
Lance Beef Thrust or something.
Or Clint Cowpoke.
Or Clint Cowpoke. Well, now there's a perfect hero name.
Yeah. Good dinosaur. There you go. We did see the preview for that and couldn't talk about it.
That's true.
But yeah,
actually, we could have.
It was a verbal NDA. They said, "Don't talk about this when you leave."
They just didn't want us to film it. That's all.
but yeah, and it came out and it's good. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the Star Wars. Yeah. Well, all the spoilers they leaked online and all that. But yeah, I thought the way they handled it was way better than the Star Trek movies. Why couldn't he have done... It's almost as if he did the Star Trek movie that should have happened for Star Wars.
Actually, he acknowledged that the script for Into Darkness wasn't really even done.
They just filmed it.
They just sort of filmed it anyway. He said, yeah, I wasn't comfortable filming it because I knew it wasn't ready, but we did it anyway.
Well, why'd you do it anyway?
Because billions of dollars.
There could have been billions more if you did it right.
Yep. Well, he's making $1 billion now, that's for sure.
Yeah, in the first week it made $500 million.
Yep.
It beat out Titanic.
I think when you factor in global, it's well past $1 billion at this point.
Crikey.
That's a lot of money.
It beat Jurassic Park, Jurassic World.
Yep.
Already.
But so what was your take on where it fits into the overall mythos?
Mythos and canon. Aside from it being weird that the Star Wars universe seems to be the Distant Destinies universe, but isn't really. It isn't though. It's not supposed to be. Although as I pointed out to Marx Cards in the mall in the store, I said that actually, in back when they were doing the Star Trek submission thing under real names, back in the day when they actually did that in the 90s, there's a line that's a nod to Star Wars in our Star Trek script to Deep Space Nine. We did a Fearful Symmetry. And in that story, when it opens up on the ops station, Kira says the Corellian freighters just docked here, and Cisco says like, "Oh God, those people! Oh, we don't like them, those Corellians or whatever, the Corellian freighter and all." And just as a joke to throw that in there, and we didn't realize. I threw out a name. I didn't realize it was a reference to the Millennium Falcon. It was a reference to Star Wars. I didn't realize. After watching the movie again, I was like, "Oh, that's." I don't even know my own mythos here. Wrong movie. Put it in the script. But hey, they looked at it because of that line.
Well, maybe.
But yeah, so yeah. Is there anything else?
I was just wondering what your impression of the movie was. I know you reviewed it, but just in terms of
I liked it. It was
how
a
it
good
stacks
sequel.
up as one of the Star Wars movies.
I'd say it's a good sequel to Jedi. Return of the Jedi was probably the weakest of the three newer ones. And it was kind of silly that back in the day that the little Ewoks were beating these super sophisticated...
Very kid-friendly.
Bad guys. I liked what they did with the... and I discussed this with Jim Chicon as well at the toy show thing, that the idea, because he hasn't seen it yet, but he has seen Inside Out and he liked. Anyway, so, but the idea that this boy and the princess and a rogue beat the entire galactic empire doesn't seem to make sense. So it's like, okay, yeah, even if they did defeat the galactic empire, there's going to be all sorts of factions of the galactic empire. They're going to say, hey, wait a minute, and they're going to go in and fill in the gap for the power gap vacuum that happened as a result of them doing that. And that's kind of what this First Order is doing. It's kind of saying, hey, we're going to go in there and do what the Empire used to do and try to become powerful like they were. Sort of like a parable.
Twist kind of being that they're not there yet.
And clearly the Kylo Ren character that's in the movie, he is clearly not Vader yet. Even the lead actress lady says, you're not half the guy Vader was. It's like yeah. And actually the Han Solo character in the movie actually helps Kylo Ren to become more like Vader at one point. I'm not going to give that away, although you can read my other review where I do. Where we do. But yeah, it's like, so, but he's still not going to quite be Vader. He's in fact kind of like how Anakin should have been in the prequels. It's kind of like, okay, this is what he should have been like. He should have been like this sort of conflicted, like, bad guy, so that he's not just going to go kill the young groundlings or whatever. Young groundlings, yeah, the younglings. Awesome. He's not going to just go and do this, and then Padme's going to go, oh, you poor dear. It's going to be like, okay, he's evil, but clearly she'd be like impressed with the power or something, instead of it just being like he's just psychotic and thinks she would like walk away and say.
The difference is that like J.J. Abrams and Lawrence Kasdan can actually write.
Yeah, whereas
Lucas just sort of imitates what he thinks human beings do, but he doesn't really.
Even in Han Solo, and Harrison Ford, even back in the day when they were, apparently they had more say in what the lines were, and Harrison Ford at one point like rewrote part of the middle movie because he's all, Han Solo would never do this or say this. Here, I'll rewrite this scene so this love scene makes more sense. And it was one of the dramatic scenes in it. Yeah. And he's all like, no. He's not going to make some big speech about how he loves Leia. No, he's a rogue. He's going to be all suave. Yeah. He's going to just say, I know.
And it's like one of the most iconic, famous lines in the movie.
I love you. I know.
No, he's not that casual about it.
I know.
But it's a badass line, and that's why it's still quoted to this day.
And in the new movie, there's kind of a throwback to that, in which he goes, the Jedi, the Force, the Jedi, all of it. It's all true.
It's interesting that all of the poignancy in the script comes from the older established characters. Like
in general, Leia showing
up. Yeah, Leia and Solo pretty much have all of the most emotional stuff.
They imply that they got divorced or something.
She shacked up with Admiral Akbar.
Exactly. Ooh, and as we joked, also the black guy is probably also their kid. But hers and not his. with with Lando. But he's
Cool.
not. He's not. But but it could be Lando's kid. Though. Didn't say.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're probably not going to do that. No, Distant Destinies does stuff like that. Let's make this guy the son of this guy. That'd be funny. Yeah. Make this other guy the son of this guy. So, just because. That's guaranteeing they can't kill him off next season. No. It's unlike George R. R. Martin. But yeah, I haven't watched Game of Thrones though, so
Me neither.
no, that's something I'm into. So how close are we to 9 o'clock?
Well, let's find out, because I think we've pretty much covered the Star Wars.
Star Wars.
It's a little after 8:30 right now. So
Crazy stuff. So yeah, it's New Year's Eve.
it is.
We're
It's
gonna do the
almost
New York
2016.
thing. We're gonna do the New York thing and say 9 is really New Year's.
Yep.
Because we're not in New York, but we like to do the New York thing. So yeah, usually what I do on the other ones is I think last year we had Teddy Ruxpin out and stuff in Kelly. We're bringing Kelly in a minute. And we usually watch the TV and mock the TV guys that are on the screen.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure we'll turn them on shortly, with about 15 minutes or so. And then we won't necessarily have the sound up, but we'll mock what they're...
we'll watch it. We'll kill the sound.
Well, on them.
Yeah, on them, not on us.
And we'll totally mock them.
Yeah.
But yes,
Anyway,
so yeah.
so yeah, let me go ahead and pause
Clint
here for a
Cowpoke.
second. Clint Cowpoke's thoughts on the new Star Wars episode
7.
7.
This is season 7. It's all relative.
By the way, if you're wondering how we prepare for a New Year's party, this year is about 3 pounds of chocolate. Well, it was 4. I think now it's 3.
It was 5 originally.
Yep.
Late.
A lot of chocolate.
But not as much. Oh no, it's the mascot of the dislocated eye.
Teddy Ruxpin has a secret.
Eye.
So we'll be checking in with Teddy shortly. He's sleeping off a bender.
Oh shit. I dropped the S-bomb right now. Tony Kelly! I'm like Steve Martin on crack. Oh!
Or at least on crack. Not so much with the Steve Martin.
Oh, this is Teddy. Teddy's back. Birthing this. He's wearing a hat like that Linkara guy on the videos.
Oh yeah.
Except Linkara reviews bad comic books. But has he yet done Star Trek meets X-Men? Because that would be awesome.
That was pretty bad.
Because he did Tales to Offend, and yeah, that comic book sucked.
Tales to Offend?
Oh yes, that was one of Miller's infamous thing. Those Tales of Horror thing. He's making a spoof of that, only it wasn't very good. Yeah, it just wasn't very good. And that one Feverhaven guy, that one artist guy who draws the hands and feet.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, really bad. Mentions him too.
Excellent.
But this Linkara guy made an off the fourth wall movie, and we watched it, a movie version of his show. We reviewed it, and we were like, yeah, it's a lot like our Kal Kat thing, so that's cool. With a little bit of Starcrackers. Well, yeah, he watched apparently Starcrackers. Oh no, he just thought of the same ideas.
Probably.
Yeah, the Terminator board guy at the end is like, we didn't think of that. That's a Chimera later on. But yeah, boards. And this guy really hated Ted too. It made him throw up. Yeah, it really sucked.
But then secretly later, he touched himself.
Exactly. Ow. Hi, my name is Teddy Ruxpin. You're going to join the glorious cult of Satan now. Actually, if we cut that right, it'll look like his head spins. Just film his head from up here. And then, I'll spin him a little slowly. It's not going to work.
This actually looks pretty good.
Mommy and Daddy don't love you nearly as much as I ever will.
With my little hatchet. You know that actually is accurate. Ooh. This is the stroke Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah.
Found at the flea market. And he was actually, this is actually probably the same one that we saw at the toy show like a year earlier.
Yeah.
It's the stroke one. He's out of his box.
Although I think that's a common malfunction.
and unknown to... we always thought when we were kids that you could totally put a Metallica tape into it. No, it won't.
Yeah, no.
It won't play. It'll just not
Yeah,
play.
the tapes were proprietary design.
You couldn't just stick any tape in it.
We did try.
But I figured out a way. Ew, I messed with one of the tapes in one of those ones. Didn't we have one of yours or something? And we're
I never actually had a Teddy Ruxpin.
that was John Curran or something. Somebody at Pine. Maybe John Curran. There's a little thing in the back. Oh, that makes this... Okay.
So I assume he does not function. At least
I haven't tried to plug him in.
I've never seen him move, although I know that he does late at night.
Secretly. Walks around. Yeah, he had to come back this year because he was introduced last year. So.
Of course. Gotta check in on him. So.
You know what? Gruffy died. He died from cocaine and drugs and Valium and stuff.
It was the 80s.
Exactly. He died the fuck.
He got addicted to Prozac. It was a common failing in the late 80s.
That was early 90s.
Early 90s.
That was later.
Chewable Flintstones Prozac.
They were giving it to 5-year-old children. But beat up old hat. So yeah, maybe the cat wants a hat. Cat in a hat? No, I guess not. Dilly Kelly. I once wore this hat. We did the Tom Brookston sketch. He had this hat and a jacket, and he was doing like, he was trying to get the attention of the atheist blogger, the atheist bloggers, and mainly Bionic Dance. So he did this big elaborate like Tom Brookston thing, and he was British, and he sounding British, he was going on with his hat and everything, and all it did was get the attention of the college youth pastor who thought I was imitating him. And I was imitating somebody that wasn't a pastor. That was saying a bunch of biblical stuff they didn't know what they were talking about.
Opposite of a pastor.
Yeah, a fake one.
Unless the pastor secretly had a crisis of faith and is actually an agnostic, but is going through the motions out of bitterness.
That's messed up, baby. But it didn't get her attention in any case. But yeah, so early Kal Kat shows.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh. Hi, kitty. Oh, kitty. I think it's Cadabra. Hi, Cadabra. Yeah, kitty.
Excellent.
So anyway, what are we gonna? I mean, how close are we?
We're probably getting on towards where we ought to fire up the
TV
television box that the kids of today are so into. Next thing you know, they'll be hip hopping at the pizza joints
to rip a new one in. Our favorite channel to rip a new one in.
But let me kill the camera so we don't have any audio overlap from possible copyright infringement.
Well, that's
so. Yeah, we fired up the TV. You can see that Teddy is. We don't quite have his attention. I think he might have actually deceased. Oh, and here's a guest cameo from.
Oh, the Purr Beast!
The fabulous Purr Beast.
Nyar!
Nyar!
Purr Beast. Hi, kitty. Hi, Purr Beast. You were hiding downstairs during New Year's last year.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's right. We've got a duel of the Titans brewing here. It's all right, kitty.
Kitty. Baby.
Uh-oh. Woo! Okay. We had a little fight choreography for you. Spice things up Michael Bay style.
Michael Bay! figures.
We were just talking about that movie, see?
So, product placement. Ha! We're sellouts. Disney, Star
It's
Wars,
true.
Marvel.
We're as cheap as a couple of 42nd Street hookers.
Yeah, because we're hookers.
You dirty whore.
This is actually a $5 poster from Kohl's. It's not really, so I kind of glued it. The cat one, I had stuck this poster over here up so good that, like, with the gray tape behind it, that I ripped the cat poster off trying to get it off.
Don't.
And I stuck this one up with the same kind of tape, but this is only $5.
You know what you should have done? You should have cropped out the cat's face and posted it over Kylo Ren.
That would have been awesome.
That's what I would have done. Anyway, so as you can see, the TV box is on. We are witnessing.
I wonder where we should mount.
Apparently, the ball has an interesting color scheme this year.
The ball.
The ball.
The ball. Is it actually recording anything?
It is.
The counter is going up. There. Now the counter is going.
So the counter wasn't going, but it was recording.
Yeah, it was in sort of baby mode, I guess.
Baby mode. Awesome.
And there was a bunch of other things down here at the bottom that were up, and I don't know why.
I have no idea. I've never used that camera before.
So what do we... So
yeah, apparently according to the countdown in New York, there's about 7.5 minutes until it's 2016.
And we have this, which looks evil. We have something we're going to try.
Yeah, this
is going to be evil.
We're not going to do champagne, or I'm not.
This is going to be evil. Tonight.
So in place of booze, what we got here is an IPA milk chocolate bar with hops. I can't fathom the thought process that led to the creation of this, because I like my chocolate with a little bit of bitter in it, but hops, if you've ever been exposed to actual just natural hops, not only do they stink really bad, but they are super bitter. So I'm not sure why you would want a chocolate bar that tastes like a strong IPA. Somebody out there apparently thought it was a good idea, and we're going to find out. First, we're going to test it on the kitty.
Oh, God.
No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to give the cat chocolate. That would not be good. So,
there's me.
We are ringing in the year. This is going to be 2016. In about, according to this, well, now it's going to be 2016 in New York.
In New York.
To clarify. Yeah. Here, where we're at filming in sunny California, it ain't going to be 2016 for about 3 more hours. But according to the little ticker counter there, we got about 3 minutes and 25 seconds. And then, at least somewhere in the good old US of A, it's going to be 2016. So, final thoughts on 2015. How was that for you?
2015. Oh my God, Donald Trump.
Yeah, I'm kind of questioning our choice of broadcast here, but we're going to get an awful lot of Trump's smiling mug, because I'm sure they would love it if he was our president in 2016.
That'll be the end of America as we know it.
This will be the last New Year's, then, our final broadcast.
Yes. Because we're literally, it won't be the show ending, it will be that he will have caused a nuclear holocaust. It will literally be like the 24-hour news hour.
But it'll be the most fabulous Holocaust. I mean, the mushroom cloud. He's not just going to do a regular mushroom. It's going to be like one of those like morel mushrooms, those fancy, expensive ones. With the sparkles. He's going to do a fancy mushroom cloud. He will do the best mushroom cloud.
The best mushroom cloud.
It's not even going to be a mushroom shape. It's going to be like a big T for Trump.
T-shaped one, like the Teen Titans Tower, only better.
They stole that logo from him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Who says we can't do a New York accent?
I'm not going to say it's very convincing, but at least you can sort of tell where we're supposed to be from. Or, you could go all old-timey and start doing like one of those Newsies accents. Hey, you guys.
That'd be like L.A. in 1830.
This is a really, really fake one. It's completely unconvincing. Ain't nobody going to believe I'm from New York in any era.
What the hell?
Ay, begorra. Now we've gone into a shitty Irish accent.
Well, there were Irishmen in New York. In fact,
and if I close me fist, it makes a point. And I don't get an Oscar.
He wanted one desperately.
Yeah.
Nominated for an Oscar.
For costume design. Anyway, so it looks like we got about 1 minute and 20 seconds.
He's not nominated for costume design.
There's some
And
fireworks
that lady
for
is
you.
not wearing a bra with that dress.
Which one? The one that looks like a saran wrap mummy, or the Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Where in the world's It's like...
Okay, so the ball. Apparently the color scheme this year, they're doing a lot of reds and blues. Maybe because it's going to be an election year. I don't know.
2015. There we are.
But
It's on its way down.
Yeah, it looks like we're in our final
We're
minute.
in our final
countdown.
minute. We're just gonna 52. 1 minute there.
Yep. So
We are still
every year
recording.
They spend $1 bajillion building this ball out of like giant Swarovski crystals or something. I hear tell it's like $1 million ball easily. And so it's on its way down. You got about 30 seconds. If we were in New York, we'd have 30 seconds left of 2015.
2015.
About to ring in 2016 and all its potential glory.
Should I zoom in on the ball there? Or?
That's all right.
That's better this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2015, we'll talk about it after the ball drops.
Yep.
But
15 seconds.
Yeah.
12.
12.
Their counter is not syncing up with the footage.
10,
That's interesting.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
One,
you
you
guys.
guys.
Yeah! Happy New Year! It's your 2016, the
It's
Kal
now
Kat Show!
2016.
Oh, shit.
Look at that. We're not going to do that while the camera's on, but trust me, there may be some fireworks later. It's just everybody starts playing tonsil hockey. The 3 cops are like,
I did a joke about that.
oh my god, Donald Trump is second face with a saran wrap mummy. I guess that must be his wife. I wasn't going to go there, but I just don't want him to be our president, personally. Honestly, I don't see that happening, but hey, you know what? This is like one of those political predictions. As we're filming this, who knows what the next election cycle is going to be.
Well,
when 2016 is ending, we may think back on this moment and say, can you believe Donald Trump is now our president? Oh my God. I never believed it was going to happen.
Well, you see what it is he's been married 3 times.
Sanctity of marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And otherwise, he's a very obnoxious person. Let's go
Well,
there.
it serves him very well on reality TV, but he's treating the presidency like as if it would
It's
be
reality TV. Like he's President Snow from the Hunger Games.
He probably watched that movie and thought, hey, I could snow so hard. I could snow even better than this snow guy. Okay? I will be the best at snow. I will destroy America even better than him.
I mean, he said a lot worse to
Yeah.
that Megan Kelly there on the TV.
Yeah,
and
we're
all
just
that.
taking a page from his playbook.
Yeah, we're just
Except
making fun of him.
without the flaming racism.
Yeah, we're just funning with.
Exactly.
Because I know we know he can't take it, and later on he's gonna be twittering about it.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, I know you got $2 billion. I don't got nearly that much." So
Exactly. But yeah, you can see what
It's
kind of
not
revelry
libelous. Or slander.
we're missing here. If we were in
it's
New
not
York,
slander if it's true.
we could also be having elbows jammed into our eyeballs by the dozens, choked in a cloud of glitter confetti, and pay $50 for a McDonald's cheeseburger. So I'm not really regretting that we're actually on the other side of the country right now. It's fascinating to watch, but oh my God, like I can't even handle being in a pizza restaurant with a screaming kid near me. I either got to move or put in earplugs. This would kill me. This would actually, I would just be standing there going, ugh, and I would fall over dead with X's in my eyes.
Yeah. Well, in the summer of it was a senior year of Sparkle. She was there in New York with the drama group, and also Dan has been there twice with Pam and the family. I've actually seen that to New York. Dan got to go to Cooperstown and go to the baseball museum. Apparently, actually a very small building.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd think a baseball museum would be huge.
Well, it's it looks big, but when you go to it, it's like a church or something. Yeah, it's not that big. He's expecting this gigantic, like...
You would think.
Although the toy store there, the Toys R Us there is apparently ridiculous. It's huge.
That would be something.
But it's
I don't know
apparently
where
going
these
on
are
there.
coming from, I swear.
But actually, Times Square was bought out by the Disney people years ago. 15
Oh,
years
that's
ago.
true. They took
They
Times Square and
reinvented
42nd Street and they sanitized it with a whole bunch of Lysol until it was all squeaky clean.
Because, yeah, there was lots of brothels.
The problem is they got rid of all the color, all the interesting stuff. It used to be that you could be shivved in the back with an old dirty heroin needle while buying porn from a midget hooker. Yeah. And now you can't really do that unless you pay extra.
Sherry Vine joking about that in our videos from 3 or 4 years ago.
So, as well. Yeah, like I said, I'd love to see New York. I'd love to get some real New York pizza slices. But I wouldn't go there on New Year's.
From a very distance, the Freedom Tower.
Soon to be, by the hour, up the time zones until it reaches us proper. But as far as I'm concerned, it basically already is 2016. And since I'm going to be getting behind the wheel later on, I will not be partaking of booze.
Let's try to see
really
in a drinking
mood tonight anyway. But I tell you what, our IPA milk chocolate with hops.
Silly Kelly.
I think it's about time that
Silly Kelly try it, or should Kal Kat try it?
Pop the cork on this.
Actually, Kitty Key's going to try it. He'll be right back.
Exactly.
Silly Kelly's going to go get some crack.
This might act on you very much as crack does. So yeah, there's our whatever in the hell it is we're going to be sampling. In lieu of actual booze, this might mess us up even worse. We're going to find out. As you can see, fireworks, waving children, purple hats. It's the very essence of New Year's. Except I guarantee you that come about 4 in the morning when about 2/3 of this crowd is dispersed, there's going to be an ocean of vomit puddles all over Times Square.
Just like old times.
Yep.
Just like old times.
So yeah, kind of a throwback to a typical Thursday back in the 80s. I do regret that I never got a chance to go to an actual 42nd Street grindhouse. That would have been awesome. And I'm not talking about like a porn theater or nothing. I'm talking about like the ones that would show like triple bills of really bad samurai movies and cheap slashers and Italian gut-crunching zombie movies with really bad dubbing. I would have loved to have had that experience. But, although in a way we kind of had that here. We had the art house theaters used to do that kind of sleaze show stuff. Anyway, so looks like we got a new guest in the studio here.
Running back and forth, Beagle. Weird.
Yep. Okay. All right, so all the way from
Mars,
a galactic.
Yeah, I had to go save Matt Damon from the Martians.
It's amazing how much rescuing that guy needs, if you really think about it. All right, so
he didn't even pay me afterward.
Exactly.
Okay, what's this? Oh yeah, that's sort of a German accent. Yeah, he didn't even pay me afterward for the savings and all. Yeah, yeah. Hi, Kitty Key, the martial sportist, and I'm in the studio, and then Kelly went back there to poop, and I have come out here.
He does it about every 3.5 minutes.
He's that hyper. It just goes right through him like a sluice. Bam! Don't fall in. Yeah.
Special fireworks.
Special fireworks. Yeah.
Anyway, now as a fellow descendant of the motherland, you would appreciate chocolate with beer ingredients in it.
Yeah, beer, yeah.
So we are now going to pop the seal on this concoction from hell.
Obviously, it's like in the other chocolate I broke the other chocolate.
My God, that's weird. It's got like this weird, like, I don't know if you can see this, but this weird sort of like peach fuzz.
Oh God.
I'm assuming that's like the hop shrapnel.
Oh God, I've been acquainted to filming the films.
I hope so.
And I hope that this voice is really mocking Miss Summer as a headbaker lady. It's like, she's like, oh my God, anyone could make it fun of me like that.
So, I'm now going to tempt you with candy, and you don't even have to get in my van. Well, you can't. Okay, so again, I have no idea.
The aroma of this is like being inside of a brewery, like in Star Trek in 2009, when they're in the brewery and the engineering room.
It's not that bad. I've been in a brewery and that stinks, but it does have this weird sort of herbal thing going on. I'm gonna just jump right in there and see what happens.
Getting great. Oh, it's got an aftertaste. It's got a bite. It's like.
Oh
Wow.
oh my God.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, it takes like a few seconds to hit you.
And then you're like, oh shit. Oh
Damn.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's so bitter.
Oh fuck.
Oh. Oh, it doesn't taste like an IPA. Trust me.
It tastes like pee.
No, it doesn't taste like pee either. It tastes like if you were like inflating a bike tire, like an old school inner tube bike tire, with your mouth, and then you decided to suck all the air back into your mouth, and it tasted like melted rubber.
More?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for science at this point, not for enjoyment. Oh man. I'm sorry, guys. Whoever made this, this was nasty.
This is like.
It tastes like
I can't describe it. It's beautiful.
It tastes like a chocolate bar that got ran over by a half-melted rubber tire. Oh man!
No.
Oh, that is vile.
Reckless eating. Get a bunch of these and eat them right now. When you see this video,
It's like
just eat them.
It's like
Just
this
eat 'em.
perfectly decent
LA Beast. Get a box.
pseudo Dove
Get a
milk
box
chocolate.
of this IPA candy bar and eat this shit. Just eat the whole thing.
No
Don't
way.
even think about it.
I'm gonna be able to do this last square and then I'm done.
Oh,
But
God.
it's like there's this perfectly decent, like sort of pseudo milk chocolate there that would be a perfectly adequate imitation
God.
Dove bar. But this crap that they sprinkled on it, the hops,
Oh,
flakes,
God.
it's like they were making chocolate bars next to a brewery, and a dust storm blew through and blew a cloud of hops dust
It's like
out
eating
of it.
the shit from the
And
beginning.
it
and
sprinkled
just
onto the
telling you,
chocolate while it was still setting, and somebody said, we'll just sell it anyway.
Shizer.
Besides, chocolate and beer
I have
go
had
together.
Shizer better than this chocolate, y'all.
I am going to take your word for that.
Oh, come on, you have had this Shizer. Yeah.
But mine tastes
It's got a good Shizer, yeah.
I'm just going to say it. It's like, this
More.
tastes like, I know what they were thinking. You can have more if you want. There's still half of the bar. I'm tapping out after this. It's weird. It almost tastes like green tea, like at first. Then it just becomes more and more rubbery and bitter tasting.
So where's the label? So
Yeah. No, this...
Reckless Eating and LA Beast IPA chocolate bar. Get this. Put this on your show. You will love it. It is gross, but it's not so gross that it will kill you.
The thing is, it's like...
Yes, this would be funny for you guys to eat this.
It's halfway
But
to
you should
working.
probably though get some ghost pepper chocolate and mix it with it. Oh yes, and also in England, if Devonshire idiots, yes, you got to try this too, Devonshire idiot. Like, Kaylee, you got to try this without hurling. God, you probably won't be able to. And what's that other? Oh yeah, that's my challenge. Dude, where's my challenge? I would like this too.
I can't even think.
They should blend this with the something else.
Jesus. I know what they were thinking. Chocolate and beer, like a good dark beer, like a Guinness on draft, is kind of a little chocolatey. So they were thinking, hey, beer and chocolate, perfect. But you know what element of beer does not go with freaking chocolate? Hops. Because it's super bitter. The maltiness is what you want.
Dude, where's my challenge? Gotta get this.
Oh my god, that is so vile.
Here, try more.
No, hell no, I'm done. No way, I did my bit for King and Country. Oh, man, I can still taste.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm salivating so hard.
Am I in half these shots? I don't know.
I can't think.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
God, that's nasty. That's
Oh, God.
way the hell worse than I thought it was going to be.
IPA chocolate bar from Target.
Oh,
This, all you competitive eaters.
This is like what you
Curious
give
Pete,
to a young child
Shoe
to
Nice.
punish him.
Shoe Nice, eat this.
It's like, hey, Jimmy, you got a B- on your test. Here, have a piece of candy.
This
That'll
candy
show
is
you.
nasty.
Oh, man.
Even Shoe Nice would probably think twice.
I
LA
don't know.
Beast, LA Beast would probably like
The
this.
thing is, I mean, it's not like eating a death pet. It's not so horrible that it's like you want to kill yourself.
Beast.
It's just so unpleasant.
LA Beast.
Yeah. It's
Oh
just
my God.
really god-awful bitter, and just the flavor of like rubber inner tube mixed with like sort of Dove style.
I bet if I ate the rest of it, I would hurl it up.
I don't know. You can try. Knock yourself out. Enjoy.
It was really disgusting, though.
IPA. God, what were you thinking? Whoever,
IPA
I'm sorry.
chocolate. LA Beast, get some.
Some ideas
some
just
distillate.
should not leave the drawing room board.
Oh my God.
Oh man,
Oh my God. It's horrible.
I can't even describe how unpleasant that was. I gotta wash this gunk off my fingers now. Actually, I'm gonna grab a bottle of water. You want one?
Yeah. I'm not eating the rest of this. It's a bit crazy. I'll rub it all from my nipples later, yeah. Get the key, the Marshall Sportist. Eating disgusting chocolate food. The Marshall Sportist. Oh, God. I don't know if this recorded, but it's funny. Oh, God, this tastes nasty. It is like it's a horrible thing. Oh, God, it does smell like rubber tire. It does smell like a tire. A little bit. Like rubber plastic chocolate. It's really horrible. This is like, it's like rubber chocolate. It's like getting teabagged in martial art. You know, sometimes the jock strap from the opponent land in your face, and his balls will be in your face, and that's kind of what this tastes like if you were dumb enough to put your tongue out. This tastes like the taint of a sweaty martial artist.
Are you talking about all the numerous times that you were accidentally teabagged?
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yes.
Teabag.
And you know, sometimes it's like you're out of breath, you're panting, your mouth is open, you have no choice but to flick your tongue out and slowly, gently caress the left testicle before moving tenderly onto the right.
Well, you know what else we're doing in the martial arts? I was tweaking our nipples. Oh God.
I blame the chocolate for that talk.
Last night I'm watching the martial art movies. I'm finding bad videos, you know. And they had one called something like Looney Tunes version of martial arts.
You don't want the cat to eat that chocolate, trust me.
In Looney Tunes martial artist, and they sped up the film, so they were doing their forms all over the place, like really fast. The Looney Tunes martial arts. Look at this guy's perfect and insanely ridiculous teeth.
That's called capping.
Yeah. And she's probably thinking the whole time, you know, this man is really gross. And I just do not want him around.
That guy in the
He seems
left looks
uncomfortable.
depressed.
He's like, I want to die. Take me out
He's
now.
like, oh, is the camera on me? Hi! Oh, we're off.
He's all like, later on, I'm going to bring the sweet smell of my endings. Yeah. He staggers off the edge of a cliff and does not make it all the way. Yeah.
Actually, you're seeing one of the trends of 2015 there. This puffy jacket thing that the guy in the center there is wearing.
Uniqlo.
Everybody's wearing those now.
Uniqlo. You get your jacket.
Everybody.
Go get one. We
We're not getting paid to plug them.
We do have the gray sweaters though from them, but we don't have the jacket. But we do have this. This is also big. This has come back. So
Well, I'm wearing a Costco special, and that's good enough for me.
these are the flannels, very similar to Dad's old thing. Just So checkerboard is now in again. No, yeah. So
It's like the early '90s all over again.
yeah, but with less grunge hair. No grunge hairs. That's
yeah.
definitely a Uniqlo product, say.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Unless,
What's
I don't know,
funny
there might
is-
be other brands that are making that design now.
What's funny is usually that jacket is for the women's. But if
Not
he wants,
anymore.
but if he wants to wear it, that's perfectly fine. It's a unisex jacket. It's just mostly
Yeah.
the women's wear it. I mean, the other man with no hair, he's very, very
You
dapper.
mean Michael Stipe at the age of 60?
Yeah, he's very old though.
Yes. I sure am happy to be here tonight. And this man's hand is somewhere that he's going to regret in about 5 seconds. It's true. Oh my god, I'm drunk. Wee.
I'm a drunk soldier cop guy.
So and I'm a pilot. I'm about to fly a helicopter right over the crowd. Pass me another martini.
and his hat is over his eyes because he didn't want to be seen.
He's in the witness protection program.
In that?
Sure hope the mob doesn't notice me in this clever disguise.
Yes, it is.
And I think we found where in the world Carmen Sandiego's been hiding.
Actually, she is more like Carmen. Yeah, the hat. Carmen Sandiego. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow, she's got one really serious like bang swoosh going on there. That my
Very,
little,
very
my little
90s.
pony mane that she's got flipped over one eye.
Awesome.
And then I can't tell if this purple stuff is in her hair or if that's just the lighting. I think it must be just the lighting.
Because
Because say we haven't
awesome
gone
if it's in her
that
hair.
80s, but we should.
Oh,
2016
God,
should be the
smells
year the
like
80s
Robert
come back.
Tires more and more as I smell it.
It's so gross. I mean,
We could not finish.
it's
this.
gonna take me like an
LA
hour
Beast,
to not feel.
you can
queasy.
finish this. You're the LA Beast. Have a good day. And when like the Crystal Pepsi comes out here, we are trying it on
Yes,
the show.
in 2015 officially, Crystal Pepsi back on the market, but 2016 is when people like us are going to actually be able to get a hold of it.
Yeah.
So that's
Yes,
a big
try
shout
it.
out to LA Beast who
And
demonstrated
several of
that
the others. And
a guy
Fire
hanging
breathing
around
idiots
his
tried to-
apartment going, I'm kind of bored and I miss Crystal Pepsi. I wonder if I can make Pepsi bring that back. He actually did it. It now exists again in this world. So that gives me a lot of hope that one day I can sit down and enjoy a bowl of Team Flakes cereal.
Crystal Pepsi.
Which is that General Mills, I think, owns the patent on that, but they stopped making it in the late 80s. My favorite cereal of all time, General Mills.
Team Flakes.
Here's my LA Beast style plug for Team Flakes. Please, if somebody wants to actually do effort and work and like start a campaign and raise tens of thousands of dollars and do all of this stuff that I'm not personally willing to do, please do that so I can have Team Flakes again. I'll write you a nice.
I
thank
don't
you
remember Team Flakes.
card. Oh man, I used to eat that stuff by the box load. It was a blend of wheat, corn, rice, and oats in a single tasty flake, and it was awesome.
Kind of like Rice Chex.
No, it was like they looked kind of like a cross between cornflakes and Wheaties, and they were delicious. And I used to eat like literally 2/3 of a box in one sitting.
Lots of fiber in them.
Yeah, I probably did a lot of pooping. I just didn't notice.
Lots of fiber in that
so
cereal
much
bag.
fiber.
Yeah.
So much fun.
So much fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope
think,
I'm in most of the shot. Anyway, this is
No.
probably a boring carrying at this point.
I think the chocolate may stimulate some pooping before. That was so gross. I'm not gonna get over that. Oh man.
Kitty key.
I can still taste it, like on this side of my tongue. It's God. I'm glad it's not actually 2016 yet, because at least here, because I don't. That's not how I want to ring in the new year, with a bad taste in my mouth.
Oh god, that candy was horrible.
Man, well,
I'm
we
not
kind
eating the rest of that.
of suspected it would be, but I was not prepared for that. So eventually, when I get home in the evening, I'm probably gonna have to eat like a Cheeto or something to ring in the new year, just to kill that taste.
Ugh.
I don't even think I have any Cheetos, frankly. Something salty, just to kill that.
Salty.
So very,
Doing.
very salty. You can't see this, but he's over there getting naked. He's not just changing his shirt. I'm talking full on tackle out, flopping, bell clapper dingling, He's playing Carol of the Bells right now, and it's impressive. And if only the camera would just pan just a little bit that way, you'd see everything. Everything. But no, he's gone running down. He's actually out the front door now with his ding dong, sort of, just waving proudly like a bayonet stabber. And he's back. Just a little indecent exposure to Ring in the New Year.
So I bugged out. Let's let Kitty Key try this disgusting candy bar.
Yeah, you don't want to try that. Trust me.
Silly Kelly.
You don't want.
I'll lick it.
I wouldn't even do that. You want that experience? Just get a car tire and put your tongue on it. Yeah. Indulge. Taste the creamy goodness.
The hell? What's wrong with these people? Why did they make this? It's the most revolting taste in the universe. Well, unless you count that one time. That was pretty gross.
I do count that one time.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Fortunately, that's the only disgusting thing.
The time I went to the dollar store and got some of those, like, those gummy bears that were...
Oh, yeah.
That were, like, in some foreign language. I think it was Spanish. And they tasted kind of like...
They were like Venezuelan knockoff gummy bears.
Cough syrup.
And, yeah, they tasted like Robitussin.
Weird.
Bizarre.
Ew, and then there was those Asian rice candies from the Asian supermarket Lion.
Oh my God, those things! I swear I thought maybe we'd made a mistake and had actually bought some potpourri and were eating it.
It was like eating like perfume balls.
It was weird, and like whatever name was on the bin, I mean it was just some.
It's like eating soap.
Just random characters. So who knows what the hell we were buying? Soap. They were in the candy aisle, so we just sort of figured they were edible, but...
I don't think they were.
I can't imagine anybody going out of their way to eat this stuff.
That's what Kitty Key tried. This is probably one of the most disgusting chocolate bars ever created.
That's pretty much the worst chocolate bar I've ever tasted.
Wow.
I mean, that's unbelievably bad.
I tried an all-natural 89% dark chocolate.
Okay. One time that would probably be more intense.
One time from the food, not Whole Foods, but that food store in Prune Yard, and what is that, Food Villa or whatever?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God! Oh.
Yeah. What gets me is though, not only did somebody conceive of this and make a prototype candy bar. This got past the taste testing stage and mass-produced and sold in Target stores as a thing that like people should want to buy. This not only was somebody's brainchild, but this actually escaped into the world as though it was a good idea. I am baffled.
Competitive eaters, try this. We dare you.
Here's another thing.
IPA candy bar.
I actually like IPA. I'll
bar.
drink a good IPA, but the thing about an IPA is it's not only a little bit bitter, but it has kind of a citrusy kick. To me, it almost reminds me of like grapefruit, kind of an undertone. There's nothing like that going on here. The only flavor you're getting from this stuff is bitter, rubbery bitter, which is what eating raw hops would be like. So this is not an IPA. This is like an enhanced interrogation device. This was not a good idea. I'm sorry to whoever... Maybe you love it. It's the most delicious thing you've ever come up with, and all your buddies love it. More power to you. Good on you. But honestly, this is not a taste I'm going to be acquiring. Put it that way. Anyway, looks like Teddy just fell over dead.
He expired.
He dies multiple times an evening, apparently. Yep.
That was freaking nasty.
Mm-hmm.
And no, this is not Linkara. Silly Kelly. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, all these characters... Silly Kelly is one of the oldest Kal Kat characters.
Yep. Goes back
Long
to...
before the internet. On our radio show when we were kids. You know, our audio tape recording show, he was one of the first. He was one of the 2 weirdos.
It's true.
And that predates Beavis and Butthead by a good 7 years.
Yep.
Beavis and Butthead started in what, 90? 91?
Yeah, early 90s, I want to say.
Well, Silly Kelly and Billy Allen Balls were on the Creech and Crotch show in 1981. We were 11 years old. They were on the show. And, of course, Creech Meringue or Crotch Meringue, better known as Billy Allen Balls and Silly Kelly Bollocks. Well, they both are actually the 2 weirdos, the original 2 weirdos. And from the 80s, from when I was like 10 or 11. They're really old, really far back. Before Kal Kat, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, by a few years. And oh God, that chocolate stuff.
I know, it's hard to even think with that flavor in your mouth.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Seriously.
The balls twins.
Worst chocolate I have ever tasted.
And Kitty Key is merely Billy Allen Balls. Just that's who it is. It's Crotch.
Balls.
It's Creech. See, Crotch is John Williams, the original host of the original KTS. Then he gave it back to Kal Kat in 1990 after he didn't want it anymore. We did K-Skit. You were introduced in 86, so you were...
Was it 86 or 87?
86.
I guess it was 86, yeah.
Yeah, but maybe the New Year's show was later.
That's going way back. I was 12.
How old are you? No. Yeah, 12, 13.
Yeah. I was born in 74.
So yeah. You came to Pine Hill in September '86. So
yeah.
It was '86.
I met you pretty much right off the bat, as I recall.
Yeah, we did
the first couple days of my being there.
Oh, and we talked about weird stuff like.
Interestingly, I believe we discussed Teddy Ruxpin.
Teddy Ruxpin, guns, and Star Trek.
Yep. The Holy Trinity.
And how to kill Teddy Ruxpin with guns.
With phasers and stuff.
Phasers. Stuff you couldn't get away with as a kid now in school. They'd think you were they would think you were a terrorist if you were just talking about like making phasers and stuff. Or clocks. Or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh
my God! What are we
but because we're not we're white kids, they probably wouldn't have complained actually, because only if we're some other nationality that makes them scarier somehow.
Yeah, fortunately, in 2015, going on 16, racism and all of that has been firmly put to rest. We're in a post-racism, post-sexism, post-homophobic society where we'll never have to ever deal with these problems ever again. And at the end of 2016, we'll be thinking back, remember those troubled times when there were problems? How quaint. It's a good thing we all live in floating cloud cities now with gold-plated flying cars powered by unicorns. And everyone's manhood has grown by 3 inches. And is prehensile. Vast improvements. So yeah, that'll be our 2016 wrap up. And no, we will not be eating any more of that freaking chocolate in 2016. Or ever again. That was enough for one lifetime.
So Silly Kelly, Jim came about in January '86. Tim was 85. Angie also 85. That was a little earlier, but the Sean McKnight was 85, 86 too, and he was one of them in Mike's later. A lot of these other names from the past that have some have gone on to do other things, and some of us are still here, and you're sort of the replacement. Well, not the replacement. For Sean.
I'm so flattered.
Tim was a replacement for Sean, and you were the replacement for Williams.
I don't actually think of myself as a replacement.
way funnier than John Williams. But he was Crotch. Crotch for any creature.
I wanted to be Crotch, but I wasn't crotchy enough.
And then there's well, it was a joke on Cheech and Chong, basically. So we were like Creech and Krong, basically, which doesn't make any sense, but Creech and Crotch. But then and then Jim Tacon and I were at the toy show recently, and we were like we were there and joking about how we practically invented Beavis and Butthead before Beavis and Butthead. We really did, because Jim is totally Beavis. Totally. He's Beavis. He just acts like Beavis.
Although he physically resembles Butthead a little bit more.
He resembles Butthead, but he totally talks like Beavis.
It's kind of uncanny. You'd almost think maybe he shared a bus ride with Mike Judge back in the day or something.
I think we both did.
And then Judge was just taking notes. He's like, "Oh man, this is like real life just became a cartoon. I gotta capitalize on this and make millions of dollars."
Oh, I think what it is Mike Judge went to Pine Hill.
That's possible.
As well as J.J. Abrams. That would account for the rubber Mr. Silly track in his movies. He went to Pine Hill with us. Oh my God. Yeah, because maybe J.J. is short for Jake. It's Jake Laser. Maybe somehow J.J. Abrams somehow became, somehow through osmosis. He became the famous director of all these movies on all of the shtick we thought of at Pine Hill. And
yeah, we're totally on to you, Abrams. You owe us like $1 billion in back royalties.
And Michael Bay probably went to Pine Hill too, because he put our names in the Transformers movie.
Yeah, that was kind of uncanny. Check this out. It's 2016 over there for all of like 3 minutes, and they're already bitching about Obama. That didn't take long. This is it's still called their New Year's special. Their New Year's special is bitching about Obama.
But this guy is probably thinking maybe I'll get laid later tonight. But he's thinking it's not about a chick. Yeah. So that dude with the hair there.
He's like, well, I'll sleep with you right now. I mean, you got a pretty decent ass.
I mean, he kind of does look like the manager from Dave and Buster's back in the day.
I will cleave your buttocks in two. He's like, but I kind of like it when you grab them like a bunch of fuzzy peaches. She's just like, guys, if you need to do it, just do it. Right here, right now.
Just do it.
On the air.
Just do it. Just do it.
God, guys. And he's like, oh, yeah. And now they're smoldering at each other and just thinking like, yeah, I would totally tap that.
Except he's not thinking about her when he says
Exactly.
it. He's thinking about him. Look at this guy.
He looks like if Kevin Spacey became his own action figure. And then you can't go wrong with an adorable cat video.
So little quickie barbs here, I guess. So what movies did you like this year other than Star Wars?
Okay, so I barely saw any movies this year. It's just a really busy, crazy year for me, work-wise, and even movies that I really wanted to go see, like Spectre. I don't even think that's playing now. It opened like at least a month and a half ago, and I'm sure it's out of the theaters now just because of Star Wars. I missed it completely, and I'm a Bond fan. I own every Bond movie.
I do too.
Including the weird Casino Royale from the 60s. And I missed a Bond movie in the theater because I just could not get away to do it. So, of the movies that really made an impression on me this year, well, we already talked about Star Wars. I would say the three that made a really big impression and just sort of come to my mind off the forefront. The new Mad Max movie, Fury Road, blew me away. I loved that movie. That, to me, was the super epic, ambitious, oh my god, worthy, game-changing follow-up that I kind of wanted Abrams' Star Wars to actually be more like. Fury Road felt to me like the 20 years that it took them to make the movie was... They were percolating all of these awesome ideas that whole time, and it really is, for me, a new cult classic.
Let me go to... oh, well... Still some lights back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, so I was going to mention 2 animated movies in addition to Mad Max. Pixar had 2 movies come out this year, actually, which is unusual. And that's because of the huge production delays on Good Dinosaur, which ended up being an okay movie. It was pretty good. I liked it. But it suffers in comparison to most of their other stuff. It's a better movie than Cars 2, but it's not in the same league as, say, Wall-E or Ratatouille or The Incredibles. I would put it on the same tier as, say, like Brave.
Hold on. Okay, do that part of that again.
I would put it on the same tier as Brave, whereas it's a well-made movie, but narratively it's kind of flawed. No, the Pixar movie for me that really did blow me away this year was Inside Out, which is a premise that is at once both really strange and ingenious. The whole notion of like your emotions being actual physical characters, and we're actually sort of in like the command center of your brain. And we follow this. It's really a story about growing up as much as anything, and learning to be okay with ambiguity and complication, which is a brilliant notion for a kids movie that you'd think might simplify it down and make it be all cute puppies and rainbows. But it's actually a movie about it's okay to be sad. Sometimes you can be sad and happy at the same time, and that's okay. Sometimes your feelings are painful and you don't know why, and it's just all of this really rich stuff, and it's gorgeously animated and realized. There's so much visual splendor on display, and just every few seconds there's like some brilliant either bit of wordplay or clever twist on something. It's just really well done. I would put it in easily the top 3 Pixar movies ever made. The other one is also an animated movie. Very few people here in the States actually saw it. I'm a big fan of stop-motion animation, and Aardman Studios is one of the few, apart from the studio that made like Box Trolls and
What was that studio?
Coraline, I think, was one of theirs. I forget the name of the studio. I should know this, but so there's still some studios doing exemplary stop-motion stuff. Aardman's kind of like the granddaddy of like modern stop-motion animation. And one of their most enduring characters is from Wallace and Gromit originally, Shaun the Sheep, who has gone on to become an extremely popular character in England and the UK. Not really as well known here. I think some of the appeal is maybe more English. It's set in the English countryside, and it's kind of this rustic farm setting. But it's also very universal in that both the show and the movie feature essentially no dialogue. Anytime a character is talking, like, if the farmer character gets angry, you just hear, and that's what makes it universal. Like, anybody from any culture or speaking any language can watch this and get what's going on and be charmed by it. So it's, they took this sheep character and made a movie out of it. It's a long-running TV series, and they were in pre-production or production for several years, and then it came and went kind of like that here in the States. They didn't really promote it very well, I didn't think. Kind of made it look more like a kids movie than it really is. I'd say it's more of an all-ages appropriate movie, but I think any adult could watch it and have a good time with it. It's got this very sort of Chaplin-esque, Harold Lloyd silent comedy madcap quality to it, but just really charming. A lot of good humor and heartfelt moments. Just really well done. So those are the 3 that jump to the forefront of my head. I know I saw other movies this year, and I'm sure I liked them. Those are the 3 that, for whatever reason, are jumping to the forefront of my mind as far as the movies that made big impressions on me. So it wasn't a bad year for movies. I just wish I could have gotten to the theater more. I'll try in 2016 to maybe catch some more flicks, get some more popcorn.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was recording. I don't know how we're going to reach over here.
I got you.
For 6? We'll have 2. So it's Silly Kelly, I guess. So yeah, I guess I'm still Silly Kelly. Let's see. I mean, yeah.
I gotta wipe that cocaine away.
That's his secret. He does. Yeah.
Sometimes he's got like this little white Hitler mustache made out of powder. Actually, this is his drug of choice. It's now down to 2 pounds, by the way.
You know, isn't chocolate also a euphemism for heroin or something?
I think so. It is an opiate.
Not really.
Anyway, so we're talking the 2015 movie recap. Give us some movies that made impressions.
Ooh, well, let's see. I've finished chewing this piece of chocolatey heroin goodness. Just kidding, it's not heroin.
It's scheiße. Speaking of which, there's a Fantastic Four movie, clearly the year's best.
Actually, I wanted to, like this year, we do not have there isn't really an Oscar choice this year. The Oscar website is like, they're all like, oh.
There's got to be something. They just...
I know the Oscar people are not listing these choices because they've listed, like, the Inside Out, the Sheep movie. They've listed. They probably haven't watched the Sheep movie. I have. I've seen it. They listed Star Wars and Mad Max, but I'm sure they haven't seen any of those.
No.
And that's really it. There hasn't really been. Oh, they listed Hunger Games Part 4 as well, but that's. I mean, it's not really a great drama. It's more of a goofy sort of action picture. So what's the drama thing? Oh, they got. I can't think of any like decent, halfway decent, good end of the year drama. They usually pull out all the dramas in December and throw them all in December because all the old fogies at Oscar are over 70 years old, and they just don't remember any earlier than like November of that year when they go to the Oscars. They literally don't.
It's true.
They grab some art house movies. Oh, this looked good. Tree of Life. Yeah, it's like. No, that was really boring. Yeah, I get you guys fell asleep. Or adaptation where they're all like, "Oh, the hick guy in this was spellbinding." That's which I said in that review. That was years ago. What I said in that review. You know what they meant by spellbinding? They meant it was a sleeping spell. It put them all to sleep. Yes, they just went.
Still never seen that. Although, speaking of stop motion. The guy who made that movie has a new one out called Anomalisa, which is an R-rated stop-motion movie, apparently, is getting raves.
Anomalisa.
Yeah.
Is that one where the guy, like has apatheia? He, like, forgets...
Yeah, or he's got some mental condition.
He doesn't, like, he can't relate to people at all.
Or, like, he thinks everybody is the same person, or... I don't know, the trailer's very enigmatic.
And there's also a stop-motion movie coming out about Satan.
Excellent.
That's also going to be R. So that should be weird. But it's like that's 2016. So yeah. But the Anomalisa I think just came out, but I don't think it's going to get an Oscar necessarily. Now, if the movies just came out the end of the year, they're supposed to say, okay, this movie, it's now the end of the year, so anything after tomorrow comes out tomorrow. It's 2016 movie, sorry. But Oscar, apparently, when they run out of ideas, they grab some of the movies in January anyway. And they put them
what
in the
they
Oscar.
do is they run a movie for 2 days in New York at the very end of 2015. So that it has a 2015 copyright date on it.
Even though it was, technically 20. There were a couple of those from last year that were like, actually, technically the copyright date on Boyhood was 13 years ago.
Well,
but
the completed copyright.
Yeah. So, no, I did like that movie. We just said Boyhood. Yeah, we went down and we saw that movie. We were being sarcastic about it, but I liked it. Yeah. But yeah.
But yeah, as far as this year,
I can't really think of anything. I mean, there's been a few other movies. There was I keep thinking of American Sniper. That was last year.
Oh yeah.
And that did not. Everybody thought that movie was going to win the Oscar, and they were like, They even put it up on the IMDb and Wikipedia, saying it won already, and it didn't win Best Picture. Birdman got it, so they had to go back and change the wiki that very night.
Yeah, honestly, I thought Birdman was a better movie than American.
It is a better movie.
Plus, it didn't have that creepy robot baby that Bradley Cooper was carrying around.
The robot baby. Oh, yeah.
The robo baby that he was having all these dramatic scenes, and this really Tonka toy fake rubber baby arm was like. Zzz, 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 zzz.
Ooh. I wonder why they had to use a robot.
I don't know. They should have just used your Teddy Ruxpin.
I don't remember a robot baby, but that would have been awesome.
Yeah, it's one of the numerous things in American Sniper that was buggy.
And the fact that if he was the guy that shot Bin Laden, he wasn't the guy that shot Bin Laden.
Oh no, you're thinking of Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30. That's even earlier. And then there's that new Benghazi movie coming out in 2016.
Yeah, I don't think
where they claim to be the expert guys that supposedly were told not to go in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so they weren't, because if they were, they wouldn't be talking about it.
I'm sure it'll be it will have all of the sensitivity and political finesse we expect from Michael Bay.
Michael Bay! Explosions! I wonder why he would care one way or the other.
Money.
Well, he isn't going to make any. It's like nobody cares about the Benghazi.
I know, it's such a non-scandal at this point.
Like, okay, whatever.
I'm sure Fox will love it, though.
Well, they loved Saving Christmas, and we saw how that went.
Fox actually liked that movie?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think anybody liked that movie.
They liked it because it was a Christian movie.
Wow, barely. He's basically saying that candy canes come from the Bible.
They would like any movie that's done by some hyper-Christian guy.
Even though he clearly was miming drinking hot chocolate.
Yeah, really badly.
Badly. Really obviously empty cup.
I should totally make fun of that movie.
Should totally do a review of it. That also is not on our best of 2015 list.
And I finally got around to seeing last year's infamous movie, The Interview, and even though they revealed later that the Sony guy and the hacking was all actually a Sony employee and not Korea.
Oh, yeah.
Korea took the credit anyway because of Korea.
They love the notoriety.
But it's like, no. And the movie was not worth all the hype that said, oh, this movie was bad. It was just a mediocre Seth Rogen movie. And it had a really, really dumb ending parodying Lord of the Rings, in which his fingers get bitten off. Ooh, that's funny. Like, what? Seth Rogen's fingers get bitten off? Okay. That doesn't even make any sense. It's like, they get the Korean dictator guy anyway, and they kill him. It's like, you're never gonna watch it. I take it, but
no.
But it's like, and that movie was not worth any of the controversy that was associated with it. It was just a dumb comedy that. Like many of his other comedies, and some of his comedies are good, he was given too much free reign. They let him do half of it and be the main character, and they got to the end, and it just craps itself and becomes hideously stupid.
You know what's weird too is like there was also a remake, I believe, this year of Red Dawn.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, but that also had North Korea as the bad guys invading America, and yet North Korea didn't throw a shit fit about that.
No, and Seth Rogen's movie Pineapple Express also had a ridiculous ending. So it's like he's done it before with other movies, and it's like instead of turning your comedy film, which is clearly a snarky comedy, into a drama for the last 5 minutes, but making it hyper, have it be a comedy all the way through or a drama all the way through. Don't make it a dramedy because that's a retarded word.
You love World According to Garp.
Oh God. World According to Garp. Well, in that case, the guy was just bipolar and depressed, and he was like halfway through, he just got really depressed and made it a dark movie for the rest of it because he just got depressed.
The first half was really funny.
Yeah, he got in a downswing. He just his manic behavior just went.
Maybe anyway. Robin Williams just stopped taking coke for the second half of the movie.
Exactly. Poor Robin Williams.
Poor Robin Williams.
Because he apparently had some hideous Like, he had not only Parkinson's, but he had a form of dementia common among Britons.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was but Guillain-Barre's dementia, and apparently it completely fracks up your brains. You can't remember nothing after a while.
Yeah, so
it's like worse than Alzheimer's.
Decided to
like super Alzheimer's.
Take the what they used to call the coward's way out, but it is not for us to judge. But he did commit suicide,
and that was last year. But yeah. Nobody really famous under that we committed this year. Leonard Nimoy was still last year, and that wasn't suicide. He died of old age.
Yeah,
but died of a lung condition. I think he had. Yeah, he'd smoked all his life. So
yeah, back in the '60s, that was just sort of a thing to do.
Actually, he stopped smoking in the '80s, but by then the damage was already done.
Yeah,
so he got like something in his lungs. But like the. I don't remember what else the movies this year. I can't really think of anything. I haven't seen Joy yet.
Nope.
I thought that Spy was a very funny McCarthy movie. Usually her movies are kind of over the top and dumb, but that one was actually a good one.
I didn't actually see that one.
Spy was funny. Sort of a female Austin Powers.
Oh yeah. Now speaking of superhero-y type stuff, what did you think of Ant-Man?
I liked Ant-Man, but it wasn't the greatest Marvel movie. It was just sort of there. It had some funny scenes in it, and you're not supposed to take it seriously if a guy shrinks to the size of an ant and flies around.
And still was able to beat people up.
You know, and although Avengers 2 was fun, it wasn't nearly as much fun as the first one.
No, it was actually kind of a mess.
And part of the problem was even Jim Tican agrees with this, is why were they shoehorning in a relationship with the girl in Hulk?
That didn't work.
Why were they even doing that?
That did not work.
I know that the actress was like pregnant during the movie, so they couldn't make her do any stunts. But for real, so they should have recast or something. Or even reshot it later or waited.
Yeah, just waited like a few
6
months.
Or
just get a really good stunt double or something.
Yeah, they didn't... Instead of just having her look longingly and frustrated and pregnant.
It comes out of nowhere, and they didn't have any chemistry together.
It's like, why does she like him? Of course, then the Rule 34 people made some very interesting
there was some pretty eye-popping
really well-drawn
ones,
including a hilarious gift of him Hulk grinning just before he proceeds to plow her from behind. Douche, douche, douche. Oh, they'll totally kill her. Oh, she'd be dead, man. Oh, there's no way she could take that.
That's probably true.
It's ridiculous. She'd be a horse or something.
The thing is, like, if he was, like, having sex, wouldn't he not be angry anymore? He'd be happy and just turn back into Bruce Banner.
That's true. But then there's Turbo Teen, who used to turn into a car.
Oh, yeah, that was stupid.
And then of course, there's stupid remakes. There was Fantastic Four, which apparently was really awful. I did not see it, but I heard bad things about it. And Point Break is apparently atrocious.
Oh, yeah. What were they thinking?
Oh my god! Wow. I haven't seen it, but I've heard all the reviews, including the Stone Gremlins.
Was it like 10% on Rotten Tomatoes or something?
Like 5 or something.
Yeah.
It's like, why did they... I didn't think they needed to remake that movie at all. I mean, it's not a perfect movie anyway.
It's so dated, too. It's like so of its era. There's no reason to revisit it.
We'll wrap this up then. This is the New Year's comedy. I guess we'll wrap up the New Year's special with this, I guess.
I want to hit the road before all the drunk people do.
So...
Only alcohol I've had tonight
2016 awful Hops candy bar that L.A. Beast has to try. Silly Kelly spit it up all over the candy bar and then threw it out.
He had the right idea. But yeah, technically speaking, at least in some parts of the country, it's 2016. We'll be where we're standing shortly, but being an old fogey like I am, I'm going to bug out a little early. Mostly because I don't want to deal with all these psychopaths and drunk people out on the roads. But yeah, so here's hoping for a productive and successful 2016. We're going to get Chimera done.
Yes, finally.
It will be released in 2016.
Probably
unless something
late May.
goes terribly, terribly wrong.
Yes. That's
the plan. So you will finally get to see the actual, not just a teaser trailer, although we're going to have one of those.
So trailer in February.
Finished movie.
Yep.
Because
fans.
As of where we're at right now, I believe there's about 20-some pages left to film.
35 minutes roughly.
35 minutes. We're going to have to figure out some effects stuff, but we'll figure it out.
Okay. Yeah.
And
so okay.
Awesome. 2016.
So, that's 2016. Yeah. Hope that recorded.
Yep.
Oh.
I can see a little better.
2016, and we got a minute, and looking forward to 2016, and we're gonna just do that, and we'll be done, and we will see what happens next season. We have been renewed for 2 more years. We're not going away. That wasn't a performance. Well, maybe it was a little bit of performance art to publicity, but yeah.
Just performing an act.
We're back. We're back. Season 8 coming up. Kal Kat Show. Kal Kat.
Awesome. Dun, dun, dun.
Here we are. Yeah, hi, Marx.
Ooh, Battlefield Earth 2.
Battlefield Earth. Yay! This season, New Year's Eve, we're all glowing like twilight sparkles. I knew it. We were vampire werewolves. Yay!
Unicorn horn. You're already there.
Put him up there.
Teddy, I just want to be loved. I just want to be loved. And